You're not lazy, you're afraid. You're not confused, you're comfortable with the lies they've been feeding you your entire life. And deep down, you know it. You've been playing small. You've been accepting mediocrity. And every day you continue this pattern, the man you were meant to become dies a little more. So I'm asking you right now, how much longer are you going to let your potential rot in the dark? Most men will die as nobodies. That's the harsh reality no one has the courage to tell you. They'll hit the snooze button 7 times every morning. They'll waste hours scrolling through useless information. They'll chase cheap dopamine hits from screens and walk through life with no direction, no purpose, no fire in their veins. They've surrendered to weakness. They've made peace with being average. And the most pathetic part, they don't even realize they're prisoners of their own making. You see it everywhere. Men who traded greatness for convenience, men who swapped legacy for leisure, men who exchanged power for pleasure. These are not men. They are shadows of what they could have been. Their potential is buried. Their spirit is broken. They've been programmed since birth with comfortable lies. Just be yourself. You're fine the way you are. You deserve to be happy. No, you're not fine the way you are. You're weak, you're soft, you've been domesticated. You are now near the man you were designed to become. The truth is a man of power isn't born. He is forged through fire, and that fire is pain, rejection, pressure, and relentless discipline. He is sculpted through setbacks, hardened through suffering, refined through consistent, brutal self-mastery. You don't become exceptional by accident. You become exceptional through deliberate choice. You choose to rise when your body screams for more sleep. You choose to study while others numb themselves with entertainment. You choose to keep pushing when no one believes in you, when no one sees your effort, when no one applauds your sacrifice. That's what builds a man of power. That's where true respect comes from, not from talking about greatness, but from becoming it. Most of you are terrified of becoming men of power because it demands the death of your current identity. You have to kill the laziness. You have to destroy the comfort addiction. You have to bury the weak mindset they've programmed into you since you were a boy. You cannot become a man of power while still entertaining the habits of a weakling. The man who wastes hours on social media, who skips training when it's inconvenient, who lies to himself with pathetic excuses, he cannot walk the path of greatness. And if you don't kill that version of yourself, he will destroy your future. Every day you don't evolve is a day you choose to remain invisible. The real world doesn't reward your potential. It only rewards your performance. It doesn't hand out participation trophies. It bows only to those who are damn good with their discipline. A man of power has presence. He enters a room and doesn't need to speak. His aura communicates everything. It's not just about muscles or money or material things. It's about a deep-rooted certainty carved from years of facing yourself in the mirror and refusing to accept mediocrity. Because you cannot fake being powerful. You cannot pretend your way to greatness. You become a man of power by becoming undeniable, by becoming the kind of man who cannot be ignored, because your very existence demands recognition. But understand this, you don't become this man overnight. There will be days when your body screams in pain, days when doubt floods your mind, days when the path seems pointless. And it's in those moments, the silent battles, the lonely nights, the invisible sacrifices, where the separation happens. That's when the average man gives up. That's when the man of power tightens his grip and says, I don't care how I feel. I'm not done yet. That's when transformation takes root. And let me be clear, this isn't about becoming arrogant or heartless. A true man of power isn't loud or falsely confident. He's grounded, he listens, he leads, he protects, he speaks truth without fear. And he elevates those around him, not for validation, but because his strength overflows. He's not seeking attention, he commands it naturally. Why? Because he's built different. He's earned it. He's paid the price in sweat, blood, time, and sacrifice. And this journey, it's not just about money or women or status. Those things come naturally when you become someone worthy of them. The true prize is internal. It's peace of mind. It's knowing you have mastery over your own existence. It's walking through chaos and remaining unshaken. It's having the strength to say no when the world tempts you to break your code. It's controlling yourself to such a degree that no man, no system, no circumstance can control you. That is true power. That is what makes a man valuable. Not the car, not the followers, not the facade, but the substance beneath it all. And that man, he's in you. He's been buried under years of lies, addictions, excuses, and weakness. But he's not dead. He's waiting for you to stop pretending, waiting for you to stand up and take ownership, waiting for you to cut the bullshit and face yourself. Because once you decide that you are no longer tolerating mediocrity, everything changes. The world treats you differently. People respect you differently. Life opens for those who walk with purpose. So if you're sitting there thinking you've got time, thinking you can ease into greatness, wake up. Time is not your friend. It's the most ruthless enemy you've got. It ticks away while you scroll, while you doubt, while you delay. Every minute you waste is a brick stolen from the empire you could have built. Power isn't an accident. It's a decision followed by 1,000 daily executions. And if you're not willing to pay that price, stay average. But don't you dare pretend you never had a choice. There was a time I was broken, not just financially, but in my spirit. I wasn't always this version of myself. I remember sitting alone in a room that reeked of regret. The walls didn't echo confidence. They echoed every bad decision I'd ever made. I had no plan, no purpose, just an endless loop of distractions disguised as life. I'd wake up late, lie to myself with words like tomorrow, and bury my potential under cheap pleasures. I wasn't living, I was surviving. And deep down, I knew I was lying to myself every single day. I knew I was meant for more, but instead of rising, I rationalized. I'm not ready yet, as if greatness waits for permission. Then one day, something snapped. I remember walking past a mirror, and for the first time, I really looked at myself. Not the surface, not the mask I wore in public, but the truth beneath it all. I saw a man who was wasting his gift. I saw fear. I saw comfort. I saw a coward. And that moment was brutal because no amount of external validation could silence the war inside me. The scariest fight you'll ever face is the one between the man you are and the man you were born to be. That day I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I decided that the version of me standing there would not be the version that dies. I refuse to die as a man I don't respect. People think becoming powerful is some glamorous Instagram journey. They think it's watches, suits, and private jets. What they don't see is the darkness. They don't see the early mornings when your body aches and no one's watching. They don't see the sacrifices when you cut off friends you once called family because they chose mediocrity over growth. They don't see the lonely nights where you sit in silence, questioning everything, but still choose not to break. The world glamorizes the outcome, but becoming a man of power is born in the silence, in the grind, in the discomfort that no one applauds. When I started my climb, I was surrounded by people who didn't understand. They laughed when I said no to distractions. They mocked my discipline. They told me I was obsessed, and they were right. I was obsessed. Obsessed with the man I could become. Obsessed with not being average, obsessed with becoming dangerous, valuable, undeniable. And while they stayed stagnant, I evolved. Every book I absorbed, every rep I pushed, every deal I closed, it wasn't just activity, it was war. I was at war with the weaker version of myself. I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I was trying to save myself from the mediocrity that almost consumed me. There were moments I wanted to quit. Days where my bank account mocked me, nights where the silence was deafening. But I kept going because I wasn't chasing pleasure. I was chasing power. Not power over others, but power over myself. Power over my mind. Power over my choices. Power over my destiny. If you cannot control yourself, someone else will. And I refuse to be controlled. I refuse to be a man who dies full of dreams but empty of courage. And then, slowly, things began to shift. Not because the world changed, but because I changed. The same people who laughed started asking for advice. The same opportunities that once ignored me came knocking. But I didn't do it for applause. I didn't do it for validation or status. I did it because I owed it to the boy I once was. The boy who used to stare at the ceiling at night and wonder if he'd ever be enough. I became the man he needed. That's what becoming powerful means. It means becoming the man your younger self would admire and your future self would thank. And if you're thinking this is some motivational fairy tale, it's not. I'm not telling you it's easy. I'm telling you it's necessary. I'm telling you that you can do it, but you won't if you keep lying to yourself. The clock is ticking and no one is coming to save you. There is no magic button. There is no secret shortcut. Just decisions, just daily, painful, powerful choices. The man who becomes powerful is the man who embraces pain and turns it into progress. I was once you, confused, lost, full of untapped potential and excuses, but I made a choice and I backed it up with obsession. And if I can do it, you can too. Not because I'm special, but because the truth is every man is born with greatness inside him. It's just buried under years of weakness, fear, and comfort. And once you start digging, once you start charging away everything that's not you, you realize something terrifying and beautiful. You were never meant to be average. The most terrifying thing about life isn't failure, it's regret. That slow, creeping realization that you were capable of becoming something legendary, but you let it slip. You let distractions hijack your destiny. You let comfort win the war. And now you walk around pretending it's all good when deep down your soul is screaming for more. Every man dies, but not every man truly lives. And most of you aren't living, you're coping. You're dragging your body through the years, doing just enough to survive, but never enough to conquer. You think you have time. You really believe that. You walk around like the clock isn't your enemy. But the truth is, time doesn't forgive weakness. It doesn't pause when you procrastinate. It doesn't slow down when you're lost. It keeps moving, dragging your potential with until one day you wake up too old, too tired, too broken to fight back. And the saddest part, you'll remember this exact moment. You'll remember hearing these words, feeling that fire in your chest and still doing nothing. You'll look back and think, that was the moment I could have changed everything. And that thought will haunt you more than any failure ever could. The world isn't against you. You're against you. Every excuse you make is a betrayal. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, you are voting against your future. Discipline is the highest form of self-respect. And if you lack discipline, you're telling the world and yourself that your life isn't worth fighting for, that your dreams are negotiable, that your future is optional. And the worst part is, you know it. That's why it eats at you. That's why you feel that heaviness when you're alone. It's why the silence is so loud, because deep down, you know you were born for more. There are no neutral days. Every day you waste, your enemies get stronger. Your competition grows while you scroll. The man who wants your spot is in the gym right now. He's grinding, learning, building, while you're rationalizing laziness with fake self-care mantras. You tell yourself you're healing, you're resting, you're waiting for the right time. No, you're hiding. You're protecting the version of yourself that should have been killed off years ago. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. And the more comfortable you get, the further you drift from the man you were meant to be. What scares me isn't the man who fails. What scares me is the man who settles, the man who had the fire but let the world dim it, the man who got punched once and stayed down, the man who once had ambition but traded it for validation. If you want to become powerful, you need to realize that the version of you who's okay with being average needs to die. That weak, indecisive, insecure man can't come with you. He's dead weight. And if you don't bury him, life will bury you. But here's the flip side, the hope. And this is real, not some fairy tale you can change right now. Not tomorrow, not after some fake spiritual awakening. Now, change isn't some mystical transformation. It's a brutal, deliberate decision. You wake up and say, I'm done playing small, and you follow it with action. You build new habits, you kill old patterns, you stay consistent even when no one's clapping, because you're not doing it for applause. Well, you're doing it because the man inside you is clawing to break free. You don't need $1 million to be powerful. You don't need fame or followers. You need discipline. You need self-respect. You need a mission so powerful that people feel it when you walk into a room. Becoming a man of power isn't about flexing, it's about impact. It's about walking through this world like a storm with direction. It's about being the man people trust, admire, fear, and respect all at once. The man who doesn't fold under pressure, the man who walks into chaos and brings order, the man who commands his own fate.